Good morning. Good morning. We are back. It is Coffee and Sports. It is the morning show. I'm the NFL genius sitting in again next to the person that always knows better because there's no better co-host than Mo Better.
Hey, good morning, Gene. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us on a wonderful Thursday. Coming off another, and I do mean another crazy NBA night. The NBA is upside down. But if you want to be entertained, I've been entertained.
Well, I want to start with the easy one of the two last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder did exactly what we needed them to do to prove that they were the one seed that we thought they were. It doesn't necessarily fully change my opinion on the Thunder because I need to see how they interact when the game is tight down the stretch. That game was not tight down the stretch. That was an absolute dominating performance from the Thunder from every angle, from being up 24 after one to being up 31 at the break to being up 48 points after three quarters. That is the Thunder we've seen all season long. Can they win a title by just front running like that and getting out and basically just absolutely blasting the Denver Nuggets last night? I don't think so. I think they're going to run into a lot more close games, and I think the way they react in those games is going to matter. But last night, your one seed, Oklahoma City Thunder, handled business. Well, what did you see in that game?
It was an avalanche. They completely dominated the Nuggets from start to finish. But this is kind of who they are. They are terrific when they can overrun you with multiple runs. This is what they do throughout the regular season. They'll hit you with a 15-3 run, then follow up with another 15-8 run, and you think you're gaining ground, and you look up and you're down 20. And they're terrific when they have a lead like that. Everybody plays well. If you didn't know any better, you would have thought Wiggins, who was one of their rotation players, was the best player on the floor. He could do no wrong. But I'm with you. I want to see what they do when they have to face adversity, because it's one of the reasons why I don't think they're going to win the NBA Finals. I think it's a mental toughness thing. Maybe it's even a leadership thing. It's something tangible that I feel like they lack. And I think as we get deeper into the playoffs, be it with Denver or someone in the next round, they're going to get challenged.
Shea, I don't know how he missed two shots last night. Plus 51 when he was on the court. He was incredible. 34, 8 assists. I said this last night on Wire to Wire, and I'll say it to you again. The headline after game one was Jokic outplays front runner for MVP SGA. And I looked at SGA's game one. I'm like, SGA wasn't the problem for Oklahoma City. It was everybody else not named Caruso. Last night, I wonder if the headline is SGA outplays three-time MVP Nikola Jokic, because he did. And I'm not one or the other. I think Nikola Jokic is the best player in basketball. But I just think it's unfair the way SGA got criticized after game one when I felt like he had a good game. 33, 10, and 8, I believe he had. But Oklahoma City absolutely avalanched the Denver Nuggets. And I'll be honest with you, I think that they can do that 3 more times in this series. I think they can win this series. I don't think Denver's deep enough. I've said that multiple times. I think Michael Porter Jr. is a body that they're throwing out there now. He just shouldn't be on the court. Like, his confidence is gone. He looks terrible.
He's a liability. And I don't need him to have a 30-point game. If he just gave you what he's giving you in the regular season and drop 15 or 16 a game and give you 7 or 8 rebounds, that would be impactful. But right now, like you said, his confidence is shot. And I'm not so sure that he feels it in the locker room, that his teammates are not confident in him as well. No, Denver's not a deep team. It was always going to be their bugaboo heading into the postseason. But this is what I will say. Going back to Denver, the game that I saw, I'm talking about what Oklahoma City did defensively. They won't get away with that again. I don't know what the refs were doing. I get it. You can hold your whistle in the postseason, Oklahoma City was getting away with some shady stuff with Joker. They were undercutting him all the time. Not just undercutting him, but going underneath his legs. And then when he would react to get around them, they're going to the ground. He's getting off. I don't think that's going to work over and over again. If Denver's coach has a heartbeat, he's talking about that from the end of the game till the next game, because you can visibly see it. That I saw on one play, somebody was guarding Joker. Joker reacted, and I think he hit the person. And then after that person flopped and went to the ground, Lou Dort, who wasn't even in the play, barely brushed by Joker, and he flew into the air like somebody kung fu kicked him. Look, I don't think that's going to last. Do I think Oklahoma City is the deeper, better team? I do. But I think Denver, when they're playing well, especially when you've got Gordon, Joker, and Murray playing well, the others feed off of that. I think they can still make this a series. I don't think Oklahoma City walks away with this series. I think there's going to be at least 2 or 3 more tight games. And in those tight games, I'm going to favor Denver.
So I think the one play I watched last night, now keep in mind, I turned it off at the half. If you watched it in the second half, you're a better basketball fan than I am. I did not watch the second half at all. I knew that game was over at halftime. It was late. I had to be up for coffee and sports. I got to be up for my regular job. I was done. I gave up. I gave up on the game. It was like close to midnight at halftime. I'll ask you this. The play that Jalen, I think the play that you're talking about, and I think what their move is, they're trying to get low on Jokic, and you're saying undercut. And I want to give you a little pushback, because one of the plays that Jalen Williams got called for a foul on, I watched that play repeatedly, like 3 or 4 times. He went very, very low on Jokic to try to box him out on a shot that was being taken by Denver. So he was trying to get like the defensive rebound from it. They waited to see if the shot landed or did not land. It did not go in. And then they called the foul on Jalen Williams. If a guy's that much bigger than you and you're trying to get positioning to rebound on him and you go low and you're trying and you're back and you're pushing him against his leg, is that a foul? I didn't think that was a foul, but I always go to you when I have a question I'm not 100% sure of. I've always been taught boxing out has been just boxing someone out. And
that is boxing out, right?
I don't know if there's a level to how low you can go on the boxing.
And there is a level, though. When you start going at somebody's knees, you're not blocking out anymore. And you're getting away with something you're not supposed to get away with. I don't think Jalen Williams, I thought that was incidental contact on a block out. I'm talking about Lou Dort when he's guarding Joker, actually getting up under his knees and then coming up. If you're coming up under me, my natural reaction is to go back and try to get around you. And these guys are going collapsing to the ground like Joker's delivering suplexes. Those are not basketball plays. They're not basketball plays. And that's all I'm saying. I agree with you on the Jalen Williams play, but what Dort is doing, I think somebody else did it. That's not basketball. And I'm with Joker. I'm sitting there going like, I know I'm the biggest guy on the floor, but what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I shouldn't be penalized for my size. Like I said, I don't think they get away with that again. I think this of all the series, and by the way, congrats to Oklahoma City for being a home team to win a home game in the playoffs, because apparently that doesn't happen anymore. But look, they're a terrific, talented team. I want to see them tested more. I want to see them earn their playoff stripes. I saw them last year in the postseason, and when they played against a grittier, tougher team, they folded. Now, I don't know. I think the Nuggets have a couple of dogs on their team. I don't think they have enough, not to win the series, but I think they can make it a series.
I look at the Denver Nuggets team, and I see 5 NBA basketball players right now. And that might sound crazy to you. I don't know. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. right now is a basketball player. I think he's a liability. I would consider him a liability. I see Aaron Gordon, Jokic, Murray, Christian Braun, and Russell Westbrook at times. Everyone else to me on that team shouldn't be on. They should not be on a playoff roster or getting minutes in the playoff.
I don't disagree. I think I get again. I don't know about the Mike Malone stuff, but I thought Calvin Booth should have been fired last year. I thought what he did. I get it. You have a mandate not to go into the second apron. This is where general managers earn their stripes. You've got to be creative. You've got to find a way to put some kind of talent in your rotation so your starters can get the right amount of rest. And he never addressed that. They have no bench. They have no bench. And you're right. There are times when Russell Westbrook looks very good, but you know this version of what Russell Westbrook is Jekyll and Hyde. For everything he does good, he'll make a pass and make you want to pull your hair out. Like, what is he seeing? So sometimes they're playing 4-on-5, and that's a difficult thing against any NBA team. But against a team like Oklahoma City that can legitimately, Gene, go 9 deep, that's a problem.
Oh, 100%. And Russell Westbrook, wasn't it a perfect example of what he was in game 2? He was 5 for 11. He has 8 for 10 from the free throw line. He was getting to the line. He had 5 assists. He also had 5 fouls. He had a technical foul. He had 4 turnovers. Like, it's the Jekyll and Hyde of Russell Westbrook that's always fun to watch in this NBA playoffs.
It is. It is.
All right, well, we're about 12 minutes in. I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to wake up. Wanted to give everybody an opportunity to get in the chat. I have a feeling we're not going to see a couple people in the chat today. And listen, I understand. I was an Eagles fan when they lost the Super Bowl. I know how emotional sports can get.
Look who you're talking to. I've been there. I've been there. I'm a Niners fan, and we lost 2 Super Bowls recently. It's tough. But you know what? I was right back up in the chat the next day. You just swallow it and you keep it moving. The Lakers got taken out in the first round. And I remember, so the running joke leading up to the series was all the different rhymes with Lakers in 5. So you know when your team loses, you don't know how full my inbox was with different kind of poems of Lakers in 5. I ate that, and I'm okay with it. That's part of sports.
Oh, well, let's have a conversation where if you're a Celtics fan right now, I don't know, man. And listen, I'll be very clear. I still think the Celtics win this series. I think they're the better team. I think they're the best team in basketball. They got to play better. The Knicks won 2 on the road. The Celtics are the best road team in the NBA this year. The Celtics can win 2 on the road. But to blow 2 20-point leads on your home court and then have to go back to Madison Square Garden where you know that Knicks crowd is going to be nuts.
Oh,
in game 3. You made the task. Is it time to panic? Or is it time to have a conversation about the Celtics? Is it an overreaction anymore? Maybe I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound. Is it an overreaction anymore?
It's not an overreaction. So you and I are on the same page. Yeah. They're down 2-0, and I still think they're the best team in basketball. And I think if they play their best basketball versus the Knicks' best basketball, they're going to win that game. And they've yet to do that. But I thought Kenny Smith said something really smart in the postgame. He said, yeah, the Knicks are up 2-0, but the series will hinge on game 3. I 100% agree with that. If the Celtics come in there and win game 3, even though the Knicks are up 2-1, all the pressure shifts to New York because Boston is the better team.
Yeah.
They are the better team. So I do think that series hinges on game 3. But here's the thing. Your 2 best players are shooting below 30% from the field for the series. And I don't even need to give you their 3-point percentages because those are below 30%. I thought in the first half, at least Jaylen Brown came out with a purpose. I'm going to touch the paint. I'm going to shoot some mid-ranges. I'm going to get to the basket. I'm fine with that. And that mentality helped them build the lead up. But here we go, mid-third quarter. They're not shooting the 3 well again this game, right? Nobody shoot again. They're not shooting the 3 well, and they're still releasing them. I'm okay if that's who you are as your identity. But when you're not shooting them well, what is your plan B? Because you can do other things to sustain your lead. And I thought in the second half, as good as Jaylen Brown was in the first half, he was awful in the second half. I thought he and Tatum took turns trying to play hero ball. Jaylen Brown is really good, but here's the thing. When he over dribbles, when he tries to over penetrate, that's bad Jaylen Brown. You're going to get a turnover. You're going to get a bad shot. I really thought it's weird to see a game play out like the first game. I know they didn't go into overtime, but it played out the same way. Jalen Brunson did not have a good shooting night, but because the Celtics left the door open in clutch time, what did he do? He did what he does, right? In clutch time, you throw out the percentages. In clutch time, he's the best player in the game.
So I'll say this, right? And I watched that game last night, and we were doing wire to wire. I got a chance to. I'm like, yo, dude, it's a 7-point game. I'm turning this game on. So, you don't have to learn about the percentages, Mo. We said after game one, it's really tough for the Celtics to shoot 15 of 60 from three, which is 25% from three. It's a very low number. Hey, you want to take a guess what their percentage was from three last night?
I think it was 25% again, right?
10 for 40.
Yeah, they're
25 for 100. You really don't have to do much math to figure out their percentage in this series. 25 for 100 in 2 games at home from the 3-point line. These games have played out identical. Celtics get a 20-point lead. It was I think game 1, it was 75-55. Game 2, it was 73-53. Knicks storm back. Celtics can't hit the broadside of a bull. And then, for whatever reason, Mikal Bridges has had the worst 5 quarters I've ever seen in my life. The first 3 quarters in game 1 and the first 2 quarters in game 2. Awful. And then whatever reason, I don't know if it's like he has to hit the 30-minute mark. Like whenever he hits that 30-minute mark in the game, like something turns up, like he's in better shape than everybody. He just turns into Superman. And again, Mikal Bridges, who was awful. He was 0 for 7 in the first half. 0 points. Turns into Superman. He's getting steals, blocking shots, making threes. I'm like, where the hell was this guy? Where does this guy come from?
He went
Josh Hart had a great game also.
Josh Hart has been terrific the whole series, but he was really great last night offensively. Josh Hart kept the Knicks. Again, it's important to keep, when somebody's overwhelming you, that you stay within striking distance. Josh Hart was that guy last night. And then in the third quarter, Mikal Bridges goes on like a 10-0 run by himself. Like suddenly he can't miss. No one can guard him. And I'm sitting here as I'm watching the game. I was like, oh my God, don't let this get close. Because when it gets close, I said Brunson will be a factor again. And look, I want to give flowers where flowers is due. Karl-Anthony Towns for the second game was a man on the boards. He was a man on the boards, and he made timely shots. I'm watching this unfold, and I'm like, how they finish the game is going to determine which team gets tight. And you could tell the Knicks were playing with aggression, with purpose. The Celtics were so tight. The one play that they called late in the game that they didn't look tight, and it wasn't anything fancy, was Mazzulla drew up a play where he did an action with Jason Tatum and Al Horford, and Jason Tatum got a straight line drive and dunked it. And I was like, that's a great call. More plays like that. The problem was Brunson comes down and hits a monster shot. The Celtics get the ball again, give it to Tatum, and Tatum has who's the big man for the Knicks? He has
Robinson.
He's got Robinson on him. So you know that Jason Tatum, anytime he wants, if he hard dribbles and does that pull up, by the time Robinson recovers, Robinson is in the restricted area. Here's the thing, though. Tatum had so little confidence in his jump shot. Instead of doing the pull up that he's known for, he dribbles into more defenders. It made no sense. He dribbled into OG and Mikal Bridges, and the shot gets blocked. That is a mental thing. That is a confidence thing. Tatum had no confidence in his jump shot. And I thought it's one thing to be missing them, but to go away from something that is a strength of your game, that was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, no, I think that the play they drew up to make it 90 to 89, the one where Tatum basically they had a screen at the top of the key and Tatum just went downhill and just dunked the ball like it was nobody's business, was incredible. I thought the foul on Drew Holiday was a terrible foul. You got to make Brunson make that shot. You cannot foul him and send him to the free throw line there. He's trying to get contact to get to the free throw line, and you allowed that to happen. Drew Holiday can't make that play. He can't. You have to trust your help defense to get in front of Brunson and make them make a shot. You cannot give them free throws. And then it was almost like Missoula's like, we're not going to call timeout. We're just going to let them go. We're going to run the same set. They ran the exact same set. Mitchell Robinson this time hedges low,
right?
Because he's like, I'm not going to let you get to the paint and dunk again. So it gives him a wide open jumper from maybe 16 feet. And he decides he doesn't want to take that.
Right.
Drives to the lane. Obviously, OG collapses on him. It's the best player on the Celtics team. And then he goes to just fade. And Mikal Bridges leaves his man and goes, I'm going to attack this ball. We're at a point in the game where there's 3 seconds left. To be able to get a pass off and then get a shot up is going to be incredibly tough. I'm going to make a play.
Right.
And Mikal Bridges did exactly that. He made a play on the ball.
And it's a great play on the ball. It also shows Mikal Bridges' basketball IQ. Tatum is going left. The possibility of him going left and to be able to turn and make a pass and the time not run out, slim. It's not going to happen. Bridges knew that. He made a timely gamble. Look, Tatum was his worst enemy on that play by dribbling into. He had the step back. Just take the shot, man. Yeah. Take the shot, because you could tell by the way the Knicks played it, you weren't going to get a straight line drive again. To his credit, I just thought that Mazzulla saying we're not going to call timeout, that's fine, but when I missed his name again, the big man,
Mitchell Robinson. When
Robinson hedges and he goes low, that idea is blown up. And in that moment, Jason Tatum's got to go, okay, my step back is here. It literally is there. Robinson is in the paint and no confidence at all. And I thought, wow. That was big, because he didn't take the shot. That just blew me away that he had no confidence in his own shot. The Celtics, the best team in basketball, have played with zero confidence late in games, 2 games in a row. I'm watching OG Anunoby make big plays. Bridges make big plays. Like, Bridges hasn't had a perfect series, but he's had the biggest plays that matter defensively. Josh Hart has been a man on the boards, and Josh Hart's 6'4".
I completely agree with you.
I'm blown away by how they're the more physical team. You're looking at the Celtics, and they're like, well, Porzingis is a mismatch. He has been a non-factor. And I know
why? Why is Porzingis not playing? I know the first game he was sick, and they basically didn't bring him back because of an illness. Like, is he still sick? Like, I don't. Am I missing something? Because average Al's getting 30 minutes a game, and you got Porzingis, who's an absolute matchup nightmare, who's not seeing the court. He's 14 minutes last game.
Mazzulla said that he's still dealing with whatever the ailment is. He's still dealing with it. He said it's something he's dealt with all the second half of the season, and he's still dealing with it. So maybe it's the fact that Porzingis is not 100%. That's bad, because Al Horford playing about 15 minutes a game is probably about the right amount for Al Horford. If you leave Al out there as long as they did, Al Horford, who's normally a very good low post defender, he was getting eaten alive by Towns.
Yeah, he wasn't playing for 11 yesterday. Yeah, 0 for 5 from 3.
He had an awful game.
Awful game.
Awful game. And then look, again, we're saying all these things, and at the same time, we're both like, still think they're the better team. Still think they're the better team.
It's so clear that they're the better team. They run 7 guys that are absolute playoff performers. And that's and Luke Cornett would be your 8th. And I'm fine with Luke Cornett being my 8th, because Luke Cornett's played good basketball this year. They have a solid 8-man rotation that can all play in the playoffs. And Horford's part of that rotation, but he just can't be the starter in that rotation.
Facts. And look, another thing, Peyton Pritchard. who's been terrific throughout the regular season, has not been unlocked this series at all. Has not been a factor in this series at all. Again, I'm going to give credit to the Knicks for being as gritty and as tough-minded as they are to stay attached and then take over late in games. To me, if you're Boston, when you lose 2 games by blowing 2 20-point leads in a row, again, I'm saying they're the best team, but it can become mental. What happens if they go up 20 in the Garden and at some point you look up and like
the Knicks drop it to 8. The Knicks drop it to 7.
Yes. And then what? Are Tatum and Brown going to play with the same confidence they did when they went up 20? Or are they going to get different? Because I thought both of the first 2 games, they both look different late in the game.
I'm going to ask one last question here, and then we're going to kind of move forward. But I'm not trying to be the guy that keeps bringing this up. But maybe it's my eyes that are deceiving me. And I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be a hater. I don't. But like, I don't see what everyone else sees in Jason Tatum. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question last night. Who was the best player on the court last night for the Boston Celtics?
I mean, I guess if I had to say Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown had 6 turnovers and shot 8 of 23 from the floor.
I know, but he probably was their best player.
How does a guy shoot 8 of 23 from the floor with 6 turnovers and leave the game looking like the best player on the team? Because Jason Tatum was 5 for 19, 1 of 5 from 3, 3 turnovers, 13 points. Al Horford was awful. Drew Holiday's unselfishness is getting him in a lot of trouble. I need Drew Holiday to play more offensive basketball. I understand his job is to slow down Jalen Brunson. Stop what? So the whole world's against the Celtics. I know you're friends with Kyle. I know you're rooting for the Celtics. I get it. You're a Lakers fan, Jory. You're a Lakers fan. Act like it. Tatum was getting hacked and grabbed all night. Can we stop this? No! They're down 0-2 at home.
So I don't look at Tatum the way you look at him, but I'm not going to make excuses for his play. He's been horrible these first 2 games. And I do look a stat that matters to me when I'm looking at primary scores, year 1, year 2. I'm looking at how many times you get to the free throw line, because that, to me, that's a show of an aggression, especially when you're not shooting well. When you recognize I'm not shooting well, there's other ways I can create offense. Jason Tatum shot 2 free throws. I don't understand that. And yes, it's been a physical series, but it's been a physical series on both sides. Like, we talk about how Jalen Brunson, he likes to draw fouls or seek out contact. Right. And normally Jalen Brunson is shooting 8 to 10 free throws a game. What did he shoot yesterday? 4? It's not like he was living at the free throw line. So
to be clear, the Celtics were 12 of 15 from the free throw line. The Knicks were 8 of 10.
There you go. So it's not about calls.
It's not about calls. The Celtics were called for 17 fouls. The Knicks were called for 16 fouls.
They're letting them play.
It's not a call thing. No one played well on the Celtics last night. They shot 25% from 3 again. That's not a Knicks thing. That's not a Hackett thing. That's not a defensive thing. That is them playing bad basketball. 2 games in a row at home in front of their home crowd. That's it.
You brought up a great point, and I want to co-sign on it. Drew Holiday's being too unselfish.
Yes.
I think I need Drew Holiday to take 10 to 12 shots. I think he needs to be more aggressive because he can score on Brunson. Jalen Brunson's not a good defender, and he should attack him and make him work more on that side of the ball instead of being more concerned with moving the ball and finding other shots. The funny thing is, Drew Holiday last night should have had like 10 assists, but guys weren't making shots. He has to look for his own shot. He's got to be more aggressive. If he's more aggressive, that's going to help them out later in the game. I believe that. I I'm excited for this series, even though the Celtics are down 0-2. I look at it this way. You're the best team in basketball. You're the defending champions, and you're down 0-2. If anything, the situation you're in right now gives you a prime example or a prime opportunity to prove you're the best team in basketball, that you can walk somebody down from 0-2 and win that series because you're the best team in basketball. I need to see it.
Well, we got to move forward. I want to ask this question, and is this the night I can take off from watching the NBA? I think tonight's the night I can take off from watching the NBA. And I'll give you my thought process. There's only one game tonight, and it's a game where the outcome is already predetermined. There's zero chance the Warriors can win tonight. Zero.
Really?
Zero chance. 0.1% chance I give them tonight. I think Minnesota beats them by 40.
Wow.
I do.
I don't even think Minnesota's capable of beating anybody 40 because they don't have that kind of offensive firepower. I think that I remember saying it during the Lakers series. If Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle are going to be like that in the next round, somebody's going to catch hell. Well, game one, they didn't look too great. Now, they can look better, but do I think Jaden McDaniels is going to have a couple of 30-point games? Not likely. I actually think that it'll be a close game. I don't think they blow them out because I think that Golden State still has enough on the floor when you still got Draymond and Jimmy buckets to anchor your defense. Minnesota's not going to be scoring at will. I think that when you play against a team that has a super high basketball IQ like Golden State does, they're going to make you play to your weaknesses, not your strengths. If Ant wants to jack up 12 threes, they're going to give him 12 threes. But they're going to keep him off the free throw line, and they're going to keep him out of the paint. I need to see Anthony Edwards be the best player in that series. He needs to establish himself as that tonight. I think if Minnesota loses tonight, series over.
Wow. Steph Curry is out for games 2, 3, and 4.
This is a factual statement. But if you cannot beat Golden State minus Steph Curry, who, by the way, is the reason other guys get all these free shots because of the movement and the attention he draws. Yeah. Well, he's not there. If you cannot beat Golden State, it says something about the Timberwolves, but more importantly, it said what Anthony Edwards is not.
That's fair. I just, when I look at this situation, I look at the series that we're headed into, I think the Warriors need to find a way to win one of the 2 games at home. Steph's going to miss 3 games.
Right.
If they can get to 2-2 and Steph can make it back for game 5, I don't even know if he can make it back by game 5. If you're down 3-2 and you get Steph back for game 6 in Golden State, if I'm a Warriors fan, I sign up for that.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. All I'm saying is, like when I heard Jimmy in the post game, he was like, I'm not too concerned. I still think we're going to win. The mission is to win. I don't think Jimmy Butler goes out there and goes, well, we don't have Steph. So he's been the guy that's led a team to 2 finals runs. Now he's not in his prime, but can he summon up a great game when needed? Absolutely. If Buddy Hield is going to step up, why not? If Buddy Hield's going to make shots, if other guys on the Warriors are going to step up, Moses Moody, if their role players are going to play the level that they've been playing, the question really is Minnesota's top line guys going to step up? And I'm talking about Gobert defensively and on the boards. I'm talking about Julius Randle, Jay McDaniels, and of course, it all, like the coach said, they get everything from Anthony Edwards. If Ant comes out there aggressive, confident, hell-bent on winning the game, they'll win the game. But I think the other guys feed off of his energy or lack thereof. So I think Golden State knows that. If I'm Golden State, I'm trapping him every chance I get, and I'm going to live with McDaniels and Randall taking shots.
Who on the Warriors do you think can step up in Steph Curry's action? because Jonathan Kuminga looks like he should. I don't know who's worse in this postseason, Jonathan Kuminga or Michael Porter Jr., because they've both been absolutely atrocious. Moses Moody, you brought him up. Moses Moody was awful in game one. I mean, he was terrible in game one. He was 0 for 4, minus 14 plus minus in a game in which the Warriors won by 11, which is absurd. Gary Payton could be the guy, but who on that Warriors bench do you think can come in and give them quality minutes to be able to make up for that lack of Steph Curry? I mean, I don't know.
I think they're going to do it by committee, and I think that's the way they're going to do it. It's weird because Minnesota's not a high-end offensive team. So to me, the game's going to be played in the high 90s, maybe in the mid 90s.
Okay.
But if it's played in the 90s tonight, that favors Golden State because they're without Steph. If it's in the 90s tonight, Minnesota's in trouble. If you're correct, then Minnesota needs to be around 115, 120, somewhere in that range offensively. If they're barely or right at 90, 95, they've lost or they're going to lose. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to lock down Golden State. What's the deal with Pat Spencer? Why we keep going here?
He loves Pat Spencer. I don't know what to tell you. He had the little hook shot in game one.
Yeah, look. And the funny
Pat
thing
Spencer's like Joe Hendry, bro.
Yes.
In the chat, like, I believe in Pat Spencer.
Yes. No, look, you might be right. Minnesota might blow them out. But they'll blow them out depending on what version of Anthony Edwards we see. And I think that's very important because if we don't see the all-star / superstar come out and step up and lead his team, they won't have a shot in this series. They have to win tonight. It is a must win to me because if you can't beat Golden State when Steph's not there at home, you're not going to beat them on the road.
Wolves need to take advantage of it. Sad Steph is hurt though.
Facts.
I might have been too strong when I said Wolves by 45. Let me change my prediction. I'll go Wolves 112, Warriors 85.
Wow.
That's where I'm going tonight.
So you think they're pretty much going to handle them the way OKC handled Denver?
If you're the Warriors, you're walking into this game thinking we have to try to figure out a way to keep the game close by halftime. Because if they get avalanched early, they do not have Steph Curry to come back on. They do not have Steph Curry to create the open looks from three. And I have zero confidence that Brandon Pozinski or that Buddy Hield can continue this run or that Jonathan Kuminga can wake up. Well, I don't have any confidence in anybody but Jimmy Butler. I don't think Draymond Green will have another 4 3-point night in his career.
He was awesome though, wasn't he? He was special. Look,
he was 4 for 5 and then he kept shooting. He went 0 for 4 after he ended up finishing in 4 for 9, which is you'll take that from Draymond any day of the week. But he was 4 for 5 from 3, and he's like, I'm gonna keep chucking them up, and then you're like, reality set in a little bit.
Right. It did. Look, you're right. It's going to be hard for them to generate offense, but I think the way they're going to play, they're looking for a low-scoring game. I think this particular game, Jimmy Buckets gets in the post. I think he's going to try to get to the foul line. If Jimmy Buckets can get to the foul line 10 to 12 times a game, there's a game plan there. There's another way to generate offense. I think that's what the Warriors do. I'm going to be interested if I want the Wolves to come out with the same energy that OKC came out with last night. If they come out with that kind of energy, you're right. The game will be over fairly early. But if they're going to be up 5 by the end of the first half or first quarter, or up 6 by the end of the first half, I think the Warriors are good with that.
I think if the Warriors are down 6 at the break, they're thrilled. You want to get it close to where you have a chance to get a fluky win.
Yeah.
There's no way they should have any business winning this basketball game tonight.
I agree. I'll even go a step further. If the Warriors are just down 10 at halftime, I'm fine with that. If I'm the Warriors, I'm good with that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to tune in for the first half tonight. I don't know. NBA basketball has been so good that it's one of those things I just can't stop watching it. So me pretending I'm not going to watch it tonight's not really realistic. I'm going to watch it. But I might have the baseball game. I might have the split screen on the YouTube TV. I might have the Phillies but I do have to one baseball comment, and I'm not sure if you know what's going on in Pittsburgh right now. Listen, I know I'm kind of we didn't get a chance to talk about this on Wire to Wire, but I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates Stadium right now. So a week ago, they had, or not a week ago, like maybe 4 days ago, they had a guy fall, like jumped up on the railing and fell down, and he was like critical condition for a little bit. Fell like 7, 8, 10 feet, 12 feet, whatever, down off the outfield wall. I don't know if he was trying to jump up on the railing or what he was trying to do, but he fell. And then just a couple days ago, I don't know if you've seen this video yet, but one of their workers, a concession worker, took his belt off and started whipping a fan with it. Got in a fist fight. I don't know if you've seen this video yet. No. It is absolutely insane. Now, to be fair, the way I viewed the video, it looked like they were drunk idiots and they were harassing him and saying some things they shouldn't have said. And the guy lost his temper and started fighting with him. They start getting in a fist fight. And then after the fist fight, like they kind of got broken up. The guy took and they were still talking smack to him. Like his friend started talking smack. He took his belt off and started whipping him with the belt, like swinging the belt at him. It was insane. Wow. What is going on in Pittsburgh?
What that is wild. Not just hearing the story. That's a wild story.
The funny part of it is the Pirates organization didn't fire the worker. They immediately suspended him because I think they know that what happened with the fans was really bad. Like, obviously, there's no way you should react that way. You get the authorities involved. You get the guys thrown out, arrested, whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't know what they said. I'm sure they probably said some really things they shouldn't have said.
Right.
Like, it didn't look like, if you watch the video, and even though you kind of see it on silent, if you watch the video, it looks very like the two drunk fans were harassing and saying some things they really shouldn't have said to the worker. The worker then had enough of it. They got in each other's face, and he just started swinging on him, whooped the dude's ass. And then as they got broken up, the other friend wanted to get involved and start running his mouth. And the guy just took his belt off and said, I'm done with this. I'm going to beat you like your mama should have.
That is going to be a legendary story. 20 years from now, they're going to call that. They're going to change it and call the worker Hands.
He didn't get fired though.
That's going to be his new nickname, Hands.
Another story I thought was very interesting. Mo, I want to hear where you stand on this. This is another baseball story. Last night, the Yankees went up against the San Diego Padres, and the Yankees ended up winning the game 4-3. But that's not the story of the game. The story of the game is here. Dylan Cease had a no-hitter through 6 2/3. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it looked like he had tightness in his arm. This is my question. In April, okay, Cody Bellinger homers. Then he strikes out Volpe and has to leave the game for elbow inflammation. The Yankees come back and win the game 4-3 in extra innings. My question that I wanted to ask you is there a time in baseball where a guy has a no-hitter and you're like, I don't want to stretch his arm out anymore. I'm good. Like, I don't. So, like, here's the age-old question is this. A pitcher has 112 pitches. I'm feeling good, Mo. I'm feeling great. Let me go out there for the 9th inning and try to complete this no-hitter. Do you give him the opportunity to do that? Or do you go, hey, it's April. It's beginning of May. You're not fully stretched out yet. I'm not letting you throw 112 pitches in 70-degree weather. I'm not doing it.
Look, if I'm the manager, I'm letting them do it. I'm letting them do it. You got a chance to throw a no-hitter. That's a special thing, and they don't come around every day. And you telling me you feel good, I'm going to take you at your word. I'm going to let you go out there and go for that no-hitter.
I look at these situations that happen often, and Dylan Cease exits with forearm cramp. I hope it's a cramp, but if Dylan Cease, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball, has more than a cramp in his forearm, now granted, there's no reason they should have pulled Dylan Cease last night. Get 80-some pitches. This is not. But it always leads me to that question. When a guy's pitching a gem, how far do you let him go? The Padres got 6 2/3 or 6 1/3 of no-hit ball from Dylan Cease and lost the game.
That's the thing, right? When the manager has to have a good feel for his guy. I don't know. I'm maybe I'm more hard-nosed. Unless you're actually injured, I'm not pulling you. I'm not pulling you. But that's my approach. I'm not saying my approach is right, because my approach is also seeing guys like blow their arms out. So I'm just saying, but that would be my approach.
Okay. And then the last thing I kind of want to get into a little bit, and it could wrap us up. The WNBA season, and this is something we really need to just do a better job of. Facts. And we've done a good job of here, but I'm talking about the national media as a whole. The WNBA season is upon us. The preseason is almost over. We are almost ready for regular season WNBA basketball. It'll start, I think it starts on the 16th next Friday. I think it starts on the 16th, which would be next Friday. I would love to hear your WNBA preseason predictions on how this WNBA season goes. A lot of moving parts in the W. Obviously you have Caitlin Clark's return, and I'll give the Fever all the credit in the world. They've done a great job of surrounding her now with players. They got her a new coach. They got her a bunch of really, really good players on that team. What is your thoughts on the WNBA season? Do the Liberty repeat? Do the Vegas Aces get back to does Asia Wilson get there?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say something crazy. No, I don't feel it's crazy. I'm going to say the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever are going to be playing for the championship.
I would love that. That would be great for the WNBA.
And let me preface it with saying, barring major injury, the Indiana Fever are going to be playing for the champ. I'm not saying they're going to win it. They're going to play for the championship. Caitlin Clark is going to have an MVP season.
And Cottrell brings up a great point. It's not just they're great players. They're good players and players that won't let CC get bullied. And yes, that's absolutely correct. She got bullied last year in a lot of situations. And when I say bullied, it's rookie bullying. It's not like it's awful bullying.
Right.
It's just basically, but them getting Bonner championship pedigree from her, like them getting a lot of players in free agency. Natasha Howard's one of my favorites, went over to Indiana. Like the preseason predictions, they have the Fever at 5. I think it would be great for the WNBA if the Fever make the WNBA finals. They have it Liberty, Lynx, Minnesota, Aces, Storm, Fever.
And I have no problem with where they ranked them, but because you rank them that way, you're telling me they got a chance, right? Because now Caitlin Clark has got some vets around her. She got some dogs around her. She's got some talent around her. I get it. The Lynx are terrific. The Aces will be back. The Liberty are the defending champions. I understand why you rank them the way you rank them, and I'm telling you that Caitlin Clark, the player, is going to be better than Caitlin Clark, the player from last year. That's what I'm telling you.
I agree with that. LA Sparks is my team to watch out for. They got Kelsey Plum. They get Cameron Brink back this year. That they're going to be a team to watch out for. Dallas, you got Enrique. You also have the number 1 overall draft pick coming out of UConn. Listen, Paige Buckets. They're going to be a team to look out for this year. The W is cooking. They're cooking. So I want to ask this question, and I see Key in the chat, I see Control in the chat. Is Napheesa Collier the most underrated player in the WNBA? And what I mean by that is this, right? People that watch the W know how good Napheesa Collier is.
They do.
But when you say names like Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, even Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, how many names do Cameron Brink gets brought up? Angel Reese. How many names get Enrique Agumbalale? How many names get brought up before they bring up Napheesa Collier? She's not a household name.
She is not. I'm with you. I think 10 to 12 players who have more name recognition than she does. She is absolutely underrated in that sense that, yes, if you know ball, if you watch the W, you know she's one of the elites. But if you're a fan or a casual fan, she is not one of the 10 names that will come out of your mouth. She should be. They should market her better because she is absolutely sensational. I think she's one of the 3 most unguardable players in the W.
I also want to make one more statement, and I think it can't be a breakout year for her because she's been great for years. I think the Phoenix Mercury are going to be a lot better than people are giving them. I think Diana Taurasi moving on actually makes the Mercury a better team. They got Alyssa Thomas from Connecticut over there. And they got one of my underrated players, a player that I've always loved, a player that was Team USA's bread and butter down the stretch in Kalia Copper. Love the way she plays basketball. I think the Mercury make a nice jump forward too. There's not a lot of bad teams in the W right now. And like when you look at it, right, the Connecticut Sun and the Golden State Valkyries are going to be the worst 2 teams in the W. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me when I say that. The Connecticut Sun gave everyone away. They decided they just want to rebuild the entire team. This was a team that was in the they were right in the thick of things last year. They gave everyone away. They're
never
gone.
seen that before. Yeah.
And the Golden State Valkyries are a brand new team. Expansion teams always have issues. The Mystics will probably be the 11th seed. But other than that, there's 10 good basketball teams. The Sparks with Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink. You got the Wings with Paige Buckets. You got Melissa Smith, Dejanay Carrington. They got a squad over there. You got the Chicago Sky adding Haley Van Lith with Angel Reese taking another step forward. Camila Cardoza. You have teams on top of teams on top of teams that are going to compete this year. I want to hear do me a favor. If you can, give me your final 4. And obviously we'll do a full preview next Thursday because it'll be before the season. But your final 4.
When it's all said and done,
when it's all said and done, who's your final 4 this year?
Lynx, Aces, Fever,
Liberty.
Yeah, there it is.
I can't skip them out.
That's my final 4. And look, like I said, health plays a big role in that. But I think those 4 teams are the cream of the crop. And by the way, I think a very balanced league now. Like you said, you can go around the league and almost every team. Obviously, the Valkyries. That's a brand new situation, but almost every team has name recognition across the board. I think that's great for the league.
I completely agree with you. Listen, maybe your hesitation of the New York Liberty wasn't wrong. Scatrell's got Vegas, Seattle, the Lynx and the Fever.
Okay.
So just taking the WNBA champions and sending them back.
They're the WNBA champions, and I want to give them their flowers for it. But man, they kind of drug over the finish line, right? They didn't. I mean, it was rough. It was ugly. And look, Stewie's one of the all-time greats. She didn't have a great series. She didn't look that great.
I do think Seattle is going to be a great team this year. I mean, you think of you think of how great Gabby Williams played in the Olympics for France and how she basically carried that French team almost to beat Team USA. You get Skylar Diggins back. You get her back, and then you still have NECA. And I think that team can be very good. So I don't think he's crazy for saying that and then I don't want to forget Jewel Lloyd, but like you have a lot of teams in the W that can make a serious run this year. So I don't know, man. I felt like today was a good opportunity in the midst of the WNBA preseason to give the W some love.
I love that. And I'm with you. I think we need to talk more about the WNBA. They have no shortage of talented players that I think with the right promotion could be household names.
Sorry, Jewel went to Vegas. I don't know. He said Washington, Golden State, and Seattle won't make the playoffs. So Cottrell's got Seattle. Oh, then he says Seattle won't make the playoffs. I said Seattle, but I meant Liberty. Don't mind me. Okay. All right. So my bad, but didn't mean to interrupt everybody. Sorry, Mo. Go ahead.
No. I'll just say it. I just think that with the right promotion, with all these names of stars who have name recognition and this new flood from the draft coming in of talent, this is a great season for the W to make another step forward in growing their fan base.
I'm going to make a prediction for you. I think the first Fever versus Dallas matchup this year will be the most televised Wings game. The Fever versus Wings, their first game will be the most televised game in the W that's non-playoff.
Yeah, look, I'm here for it. I'm here for the matchup.
Are you ready to see Caitlin Clark lined up against Paige Beckers?
Absolutely. I'm
ready for that.
I'm ready for that. Yes, I'm ready to see it because even though Caitlin is a year into it, Paige is a dog. It's gonna be fun to see them get after it.
I just think in the future, 2 years from now, when you're adding, the Michael Jordan, I'm not going to get into it too far. But my point being is USC's got a little bit of a baller in Juju Watkins waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's all.
I'm fired up.
I'm fired up. That's all facts. And look, I just want Juju Watkins to be 100%. I think you and I have even talked about it. If she needs to take this coming season off to be 100%, I'm good with that.
Cottrell said, no way Chicago versus Indiana will be. I don't think Chicago's going to be good enough to be able to compete with Indiana this year. I really don't believe that. I think that Indiana's built to be able to handle Chicago. I understand Angel Reese and Camila Cardoza in the post. And I obviously know adding Haley Van Lith, but I don't think Haley's going to play a ton for Chicago. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think Indiana plays too fast a pace for Chicago to keep up with them.
And people here all constantly say that I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan, and I am. I'm a Fever fan right now. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan until Juju Watkins gets there, because then I'm a Juju fan. And wherever Juju goes, unless there's a team in Philadelphia, I will be a Juju fan. I love Caitlin. I love Cece. I love what she's brought to the league. I'm obviously constantly rooting for her until Juju comes. Then I'm a Juju fan. Caitlin can be on the silver medal. I've been a Juju fan since I watched Juju play last year. All right, Mo, that's all we got for today. Hour flew by as usual.
It did.
Wrap it up.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.
Oh, you have a watch along tonight? Are you watching along tonight?
We are. We're doing a watch along for the Warriors game.
What a shitty game to have. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that way. Tune in to N1. They'll break it down. But can you do a watch along for like this Knicks Celtics last night? I'm just kidding.
We needed it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.